Hello, I am Dr. Lee Vickers, author of Bodies of Light and founder of Lightworkers International. And we are about to talk about the most important path for you as a limitless being of light.
Yes.
So you are not a human. And if you think that you are, the only reason that you think that is because your energy is so low. The only reason that if you think that you're a human is because your energy is so low, because you, in actual fact, are a limitless being of light. Your abilities and capabilities would astound any human on this planet. And it's time for you to relive and refocus on who you truly are. It's time for you to become conscious, to remember not only the last few years, 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, million years, multiple millions of years. Now, that almost sounds like science fiction for a few of you. But in actual fact, and they've talked about it in different religions, samsara, which were the patterns or the karma that you had in past lives, are destined to repeat. And we call these a subscara, or a hidden scar. Now, why would you be repeating something that already happened? And I'm going to tell you why. Because a subscara is a scar that is on you as a being of light that is holding you back and dimming your light. Within you is this limitless capability to flow energy. You know, doing Bodies of Light, that you feel tingly, that you feel amazing. For thousands of years, the way people washed away these subscaras was by raising their vibration. So people would literally make sounds and raise their vibration. And the sound, of course, was what? Om. So everyone do this with me. Om. Om. Now, if you did that with us, what is that? But higher vibration. It's a very simple thing. People did this for thousands of years, 6 hours a day, for decades. And they found that when they did this, that it opened up and cleansed lower vibrational things out of the body. Of course, the first things that cleanse out are now this life, your upsets, your sadness. But as you keep raising your vibration, and what Bodies of Light does is it's equivalent to doing that Om 6 or 8 hours a day for the next 6 weeks on doing it only once. That's a lot of energy. And people do bodies of light to make their other meditations work better. But what we're talking about here is the actual dwindling spiral of you as a limitless being of light to this infinite potential to where you are now, and the fact that you at home, with this video and the basics that you're going to learn, that you can rehabilitate millions of years and thousands of lifetimes in about 13 months.
Yeah.
So think about that. Are you willing to take a little time with your bodies of light and do something a little extra every week, which we call Subscara clearing, which is washing away these scars or speeding it up? Now, I normally don't talk a lot about other systems, but it's very important to talk about other systems here, because there's many things out there that tell you that they're there for your enlightenment. They tell you that all you have to do is pay money every week, and that you're going to get it after you're dead. Now, if that isn't the wildest payment program, pay it your whole life and you don't get it till you're dead. And even then you don't get it. Because you don't wash away these scars when you're out of body. This is something that you can actually do now. And the kingdom of heaven is plugged into in the now moment. That vibration, raising your vibration, is what plugs you into the kingdom of heaven. And there's 1,000,001 ways. Bodies of light is just a very fast way. Now, so we have some groups out there saying they're going to enlighten you, they're going to make your life great, and that all you have to do is pay them every week and get it once you're dead. Now, maybe that isn't such a great way in our modern society to, as a payment program. It'd be like, buying a car, paying for it your whole life, and you don't get the car until you can't use it. But it's a great sales pitch for those that are selling something that isn't there. Now, there's a lot of other stuff that, and just so you know, the greatest movers and shakers across the world were moving in one direction or another. They were moving in infinite creation or infinite destruction, or to some degree in the direction of each. Now, I want to bring up one of the most destructive influences on this planet, and of course that would be Hitler. He, of course, thought he was enlightening his people. Now, we know now that death and destruction and blaming others for your problems is not the path into the light. Because the path into the light is a path of love, a path of oneness. The light brings us together. Within the light is love. So on this path into the light, you're really learning to love everything. Not only about yourself, but about others. Now, I want us to charge up, because if you haven't done Bodies of Light yet, in order to do some of the testing and some of the things with Subscara clearing and learning about releasing your dark core, which is this dwindling spiral of lower vibration and suffering that has made you think that you're a human, or a few of you think that you're a human. First, we have to raise our vibration. And of course, you would go to the initial video learning about how to do Bodies of Light if you haven't done that yet. But what we're going to do here, right now, is just do Bodies of Light to raise our vibration so that we can start doing the testing and some of the things to be able to really discern on what it means to release your dark core, follow the path into the light, and to relive thousands of lifetimes and millions of years of your experience. And to take those lumps of coal within your past, those areas that you think are dark, that may be holding you back, that may be lowering your vibration, and flowing light and love through them and forgiveness, and turning those lumps of coal into the most brilliant diamonds. So get ready, because we're getting real, and we're getting you on the path into the light big time in your past lives, and talking about it and really discerning so that you don't get stuck on some real short circuits this lifetime on going the wrong direction. We're going to teach you how to test that on knowing, because everyone says, even Hitler said he was there to enlighten you. But of course we know he wasn't. Now, you'll be able to learn how to test that. And there's many groups and different things you could do this lifetime that would be about as successful as what Hitler did. So, get ready. Let's do bodies of light right now. Repeat after me. I am the temple of God.
I am the temple of God.
The light of God dwells within me.
The light of God dwells within me.
Each of my 8 bodies contains zillions of intelligences, here and now, directly connected to the light of God. I direct every aspect of my 8 bodies to turn upwards to the eternal light of God. All of my 8 chakras and bodies of being are now fully open to the light of God. I am at one with God. My spirit is awake and fully open to God. My spirit receives all divine communication from God. God's pure light shines upon every aspect of my etheric body. Thank you, God, for your bells of levitating power, raising me upwards toward the heavens, and the infinitely powerful blue shield of electromagnetic insulation, which allows only the light of God within. My etheric body expresses perfect and appropriate feelings and emotions. God's pure light shines upon every aspect of my astral body. Be awake and alert. My astral body. Thank you, God, for easy and relaxed astral travel, perfect control, and spiritual peace. God's pure light shines upon every aspect of my mental body. Now everyone stay with me. Thank you, God, for accurate memory, appropriate intelligence, proper revelation, and divine timing of righteous decisions. God's pure light shines upon every aspect of my physical body. This light shines from above down and inside out through every cell, traveling from my brain through my forehead and throat, permeating all cells of my heart, following every part of my digestive system, including my stomach, liver, and intestines, flowing from my cranium, through my spine, to the sacral base, creating divine stability through my arms and hands, legs and feet. I direct the light to charge my entire nervous system and shine through every blood cell, creating perfect homeostasis. All cells composing my physical body
body,
through God inside,
through God inside,
are in a perfect
are in perfect
and divine balance.
and divine balance.
I thank you, God,
I thank
Thank God
for keeping me at all times
for keeping me at all times
in perfect health.
in perfect health.
God's pure light
God's pure light
shines upon every part
shines upon every part
of every atom
of every atom
within me.
within me.
God's pure light
God's
Pure light
shines upon the outermost band
shines upon the outermost bands
of all atoms within me,
of all atoms within me,
vitalizing and energizing the band
vitalizing and energizing the band
to perfect spin and balance.
to perfect spin and balance.
Thank you, God,
Thank you, God,
for divine energy.
for divine energy.
God's pure light
God's pure light
shines upon the middle rings
shines upon the middle rings
of all atoms within me,
of all atoms within me,
vitalizing and energizing the rings
vitalizing and energizing the rings
to perfect spin and balance.
to perfect spin and balance.
Thank you for healing
Thank you for healing
all inherited factors,
all inherited factors
and also for the many
and also for the many
genetic blessings
genetic blessings
of my ancestors.
my ancestors.
Thank you for healing
Thank you for healing
all past life
all past life
karmic patterns.
karmic patterns.
God's pure light
God's pure light
shines upon the innermost band
shines upon the innermost band
of all atoms within me,
of all atoms within me,
vitalizing and energizing the band
vitalizing and energizing the band
to perfect spin and balance.
to perfect spin and balance.
Thank you for healing
Thank you for healing
all traumatic
all traumatic
occlusions
occlusions
over my entire existence.
over my entire existence.
Now, this traumatic occlusions is the subscara or psychic scars. So as you do bodies of light, you're washing them away. But what we're talking about is subscara clearing, which is a supercharging of the process. Okay? So keep repeating after me. God's pure intelligence
God's pure intelligence
exists
exists
within every core
within every core
of every atom
of every atom
within me.
within me.
It is that intelligence,
It is that intelligence
which is the nothingness,
which is the nothingness
that creates the somethingness
that creates the somethingness
of my existence.
of my existence.
Thank you
Thank you
for creating the somethingness
for creating the somethingness
from the nothingness.
from the nothingness.
May the light of God
May the light of God
enter and stimulate
enter and stimulate
every outer band,
every outer band,
middle rings,
middle rings,
inner band,
inner band,
and core within me.
and core within me.
May the light of God
May the light of God
enter every core
enter every core
of every atom within,
of every atom within,
igniting them in succession,
igniting them in succession,
transforming each atom
transforming each atom
into an atomic sun,
into an atomic sun,
together forming
together forming
the universal light of God
the universal light of God
within me.
within me.
Thank you for shining
Thank you for shining
God's pure light
God's pure light
into all 8 of my bodies,
into all 8 of my bodies,
igniting them in succession
igniting them in succession,
and connecting me fully and wholly
connecting me fully and wholly
to the divine light of creation
to the divine light of creation
of this
of this
and every other universe.
and every other universe.
Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, tongue in through your mouth, and we have a couple people coming up with us. So breathe. We're going to get ready to have some wild conversations and wild stuff we're going to be talking about. Breathe. Remember, the breath is the pump. Okay? Breathe. I direct the light of God.
I direct the light of God.
1 zillion
1 zillion
times 1 zillion
times 1 zillion
into every core
into every core
of every atom
of every atom
within me.
within me.
Breathe. I direct the light of God.
I direct the light of God.
1 Google
1 Google
times 1 Google
times 1 Google
times 1 Google
times 1 Google
into every core
into every core
of every atom
of every atom
within me.
within me.
Breathe. Tongue loose your mouth. I direct the light of God.
I direct the light of God.
1 Googleplex
One Googleplex
times 1 Googleplex
times 1 Googleplex
times 1 Googleplex
times 1
times
Googleplex
times 1 Googleplex
times 1
Googleplex
into every core
into
every
every core
core
of every atom
of every
every
atom
atom
within me.
within me.
Breathe. We're really moving the energy right now. We're talking about some wild stuff. I feel it plugging in. Get ready. Igniting each atom in succession.
igniting each atom in succession,
Transforming each atom
transforming each atom
into an atomic sun.
into an atomic sun,
Together forming
Together forming
forming
the universal light of God
the universal light of God
within me.
within
within
me.
me.
Breathe. Okay. Now, to get you calibrated on testing, so you can understand what we're doing on the next parts, is you see him, he's moving his hand. So if you see this, let's do just go straight to the little energy violin. Maybe I should come up. Do you want me to come up, or you want me to? Actually, I'll come up and see if you can. Does you see that? The energy violin right there? Okay, so now do this and say, yes, yes, yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. So you'll notice on no that it's sticky, okay? You'll get this more in other videos, but I want you to get calibrated. Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. So now we're going to put our hands up, okay? And we're going to test our own energy to see where we're at, okay? So go negative Google,
Negative Google,
Negative Google.
0.
0.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, billion,
Billion.
trillion,
Trillion.
septillion,
Tillion.
Google. And so I'm Googleplexing, but it's like we don't have a dark core. Million, trillion, septillion, Google. He's in the Googling, million, trillion, trillion to septillion. So, you know, we're quite high, and then, but you're gonna see where on that scale you are. So if you check yourself and you go, and you just did bodies of light, and you go, negative Google, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, billion, trillion. So you see where it gets sticky, and that's where your energy is at. Now, what I want you to understand is that most people are quite low on the scale. So if you look at around a person's head anywhere, and you put a laser, you look through their head, and you say, what is their energy? And you go negative Google 0, 1. So if it's a 1 around their head, what does that mean?
It means it's 90% low. It's only 10% to heal the person's body and affect the past life.
Yeah, so if a person is a 1, that means they're 90% dark energy, 10% light, and they barely have enough energy to barely make their organs work. Their organs aren't doing good. We're not going into the hand reflexes, but those who know how to do that, you'll know that they'll be low, and that when you do bodies of light, it gets better. Now, we've seen different gurus or different groups, and just so you know, Hitler said he was there to enlighten the German people and the world. So let's look at Hitler. What energy was Hitler, and what was his path into? What do you think his path might have been into?
Darkness.
His path was into the path into the darkness. The path into the darkness is a path into more destruction than creation. It's a path into blame, shame. It's the other person's fault. Do you see? It's separation. Anything, you have different groups that, even spiritual traditions that separate and shun, that whole shunning process. The shunning process is inherently, let's check, and go yes, 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 no, no, no.
Yes.
Is shunning light? No. Is it a path into the light? So everyone check. Is shunning, everyone say it, is shunning a path into the light?
is shunning a path into the light.
0. What percent? 0.
0.
Okay, shunning is a path into the darkness. So those religions that are shunning people, They're saying they're enlightening you. Maybe they're trying to get 500,000, 300,000 or 500,000 people into heaven, and they give some of them love to give a number, like, there's only so many people get into heaven, But what's funny is that they're already missed the first lie, which is that the kingdom of heaven is now. And we're here to bring heaven on earth. Of course, the Messiah is your inner light. We're realizing that, of course, that it's following this path into the light that's actually the Messiah, and everyone has it within them, to guide them and to remember who you are, to wash away these psychic scars and these subscaras. And but we really need to know, you got to understand that there's things out there that everyone says they're there to enlighten you. I mean, I don't know if there's hardly anyone actually will tell the truth. And you'll notice that the most glitzy and glamorous things many times are a trap. And it's kind of like you have the old Grecians where in the olden times they would talk about the sailors, and they would have the sirens of the sea would sing. These beautiful women that were part fish would be singing and guiding, like so beautiful and so amazing, and then they would cause the ships to hit on the rocks, right? And then all the sailors would die. So of course that would be a path into what?
Darkness.
That would be a path into darkness. But the sirens could be a metaphor for where a lot of people will say they're there to guide you into the light. I mean, I would say, you have thousands upon thousands of religions and spiritual traditions and things. I mean, there's very little that say they're not there to enlighten you.
Yeah.
You see, they're all saying that they're there to enlighten you. That so-and-so is there to enlighten you. Now, what you notice is that you can look at whoever's guiding you, because if you look at it as your tour guide into the light, per se, we ultimately want you to be able to test this for yourself. So if someone is going to guide you into the light and you look around their head and you say their energy is a negative Google 0, what percent are they going to guide you into the light?
100% not the right direction.
Right, they're going to guide you where?
To the darkness.
Into the dark side. The dark side is into separation, anxiety, sickness, lowering your vibration. Anything that makes you weaker is a path into the darkness. Anything that makes you stronger is a path into the light. Now, there's other groups that even talk about past lives. There's a lot of people stir them up. And so if we look back historically, how was it that people, during the Buddhist tradition and everything, during meditation, how is it that they washed away their past lives? Through raising what? Vibration. And it took a long time. Okay? Now, of course, we don't have that much time. Bodies of Light does it quite quickly. But, back then, of course, they didn't have things like lie detectors and stuff like that. Probably in like the 50s, some people got some great ideas, put people on a lie detector and ask them about their past lives. And you can really start to uncover them. But the problem is that what washes them away?
Light.
The light.
The light.
Light and love. And forgiveness. You understand that, like Hitler, when you're blaming other people, see this idea of projecting your own dark core on others and blaming them has been as old as not just man, it's been as old as many civilizations across many planets forever. And it's the nature of the dark core. The nature of the dark core is to not take responsibility, to not look inwards. Because the nature of the dark core is to blame all the problems on someone else. It's this group that's creating all the problems for mankind. It's that group creating all the problems for mankind. It's this group. It's the president or the enemy or the other tribe or the other nation or the other group of people creating the problem. But what's the real problem? The real problem is that you as a limitless being of light have patterns within yourself that are dark, that are like lumps of coal, that need to be washed away with light and love, and that get washed away easily with bodies of light. And we're going to give you a method wherein even listening to this video, doing bodies of light, getting the book for $31, that you could in 13 months wash away your entire dark core, thousands of lifetimes, 5,000 lifetimes, millions of years of these, very easily, very simply, with $31. Wow. That can be pretty cheap, huh?
Extremely cheap.
Extremely cheap when some of these groups that do the lie detectors might get you 30 or 35 lifetimes in and charge you $350,000 for a year's worth of sitting on a lie detector.
Years upon years.
No, that was just 1 year. No, years upon years, they usually spend, more. Or make you sign a long contract to be slave labor to learn their stuff. But the key is that ultimately, sitting on a lie detector is not going to wash away. It may uncover some lifetimes, and it's really brilliant. It's very, very Star Wars. It's very fun to see past lives, right? It's very fun to see yourself as other creatures. But ultimately, let's go back to the Buddhist times. They saw themselves as other creatures, other planets, everything. But they just did it by raising their vibration. And that's, of course, I'm going to say it, that's the only way that people are releasing on Earth right now, their dark core, is by raising their vibration. And Bodies of Light does it the fastest. I don't know anyone right now doing it the other method where they ohm for 6 or 8 hours a day for 70 years or 50 years. It's just because people in the West don't have that much time. There's also some blockages to raising your vibration, which in our modern day, one of the big blockages that we have, and this is a very interesting thing, is shoes. They're plastic. Did you know that?
Because they're not connected to the earth.
Right, and plastic is what? There's no grounding. They're isolated. So you gotta understand that shoes actually stop the flow of energy through you and cause you to hold on to the dark energy. And so a lot of people are stuck right now in this civilization in the same Subscara for their whole life, and they're acting it out, whatever it is.
It's really interesting. It just kind of brought me back to that idea. I think I've been to one of the big cities, and I've seen when people go on little lunch breaks, like the old dressed up business suits, and they go on a little grass pad and they take their shoes off and just walk around, and it just kind of totally makes sense what it is.
Well, people feel better.
Yes.
When you're walking on the earth, when you're walking, and you understand for thousands of years, people sat underneath the banyan. The banyan tree is the icon for Bodies of Light Center and League of Lightworkers International. And the reason being is because when you have a tree that tests very high, so when you learn how to test, you test your tree, and you go 1, 9, 10, 10, 20, 100. So let's say it's 100, as long as it's above a 10. Now, if it has a lot of pesticides, it may be a 0. So is that tree going to enlighten you? No. You need to be next to a tree that has a lot of life force and is very grounded and is healthy. So you go next to a healthy tree. Ours out there tests like a billion. But of course, we have a lot of very high vibrational people with Bodies of Light here at the Bodies of Light Center. But you get a tree that's 100, and you sit underneath the tree, you're going to feel tingly. And people have done that, and you can breathe and do Om, and it'll start to pull out these psychic scars. But the thing is, Bodies of Light makes it really fast, especially in our day and age, in our Western age. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100% fast.
Yeah. So, and you're talking to two people here who have released their dark core, and I want to go into though the reality of the pitfalls that people get stuck into. So you have the shoes. The people are insulated. They're in their house. Also, you have things that separate people. We know shunning is dark, but something as simple as separating people. In other words, like the tradition of the society making people not want to touch. Did you know that when people touch, when they're holding, when they're holding each other, not just a gay straight thing, but just a being of light thing, people are holding and touching and holding. That's part of 2 lightning rods And that when people touch, that's very enlightening, it's very grounding, it's very energetic. As two beings of light, touch, hold, anything that separates. There's a lot of traditions that don't let people touch, and that's actually a path into what?
Darkness.
Separation.
Yeah, separation. You got to understand this path into the light, this path into the ability and capability to release your dark core, which is thousands of lifetimes, has to do with you raising your vibration. It has to do with you doing bodies of light. Of course, we say minimum do it 3 times a day. If you really want to try to get rid of it in 13 months, I would say do it 10 times a day, minimum. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we want you to be on the 13-month plan. We want you to open up more energy than you ever thought possible. And we're going to give you a method which is like Subscara clearing light. You can come do classes and have someone help facilitate you. But you can do this on your own, what we're going to say in a bit. And once a week, pick one day a week, and it can really be a rocket ride to you releasing your entire dark core. So what is the dark core? I'm going to go in. What is the dark core? For you guys, both of these guys should be experts because they've released thousands of lifetimes and millions of years, both of them.
Well, the dark core, first thing like people call it samsara, karma, like karmic patterns.
Did you want to turn it over? Or do you like
These
that?
are all patterns from the past, which we call it like dark core. It means if something happened in the past that you really hold on to and you really stress about it, and it kind of like you like emotionally imprinted like in your energy, and your energies is like a hard drive. It's like universal hard drive that brings, even though no matter what kind of physical body you have later on and thousands of lifetimes, like years and years upon years later on, you still remember it, even though maybe not consciously, but deeper levels you do remember it. And if something really happened that you really gotta like stressed on that, it gotta affect you. That's how we say, this person has a good karma or this person has not so good karma. I'm sure everybody hears that.
So you have good karma when you have a lot of good things that you've done. But what happens is that when you've had a lot of naughty stuff recently, it builds up, but these patterns keep repeating. Yeah. So let's say, come over here. Actually, I'm going to come over here. So you had, and let's talk about the pattern. Tell them about all the fire. What about, you kept getting thrown in the fire over and over. You want to tell them about that? What happened? Because this was a very interesting karmic pattern. Many, many lifetimes Yang Keel had with the fire. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so what happened is that when I first started opening up my psychic scars, every now and then I would open a new scar where I was being burned.
Tell them the ways.
And,
there were a bunch of ways, like burned at the stake.
Burned at the stake. I would fall into like a whole fire. I mean, like all kinds of ways of getting burned.
How many times? 1, 9, 10, 11, maybe 11 or 12 different lifetimes.
So
over
I had
and over.
11 or 12 different lifetimes where I was
boiled in oil, burned.
Things like that happened, and it created a lot of dark energy. And
what's so funny is it's like, oh, you get burned again. Oh, now you got burned in a house. You got burned over here.
Oh, yeah.
Like just
I
over and
burned.
over.
Yeah. And I was looking at that pattern every time I opened up a scar and I was getting burned.
And we didn't know we just thought it was interesting, right?
Yeah.
Until
about a while of opening up these scars, I opened up a scar where I was in this lifetime. And
it was on another planet.
In another planet.
It was another civilization. They had a very Empire Strikes Back civilization.
Yeah. And I was like
empire related.
I was like some sort of a commander or something that I ordered.
That actually had it was like death camps.
It was like a death camp. Yeah.
And they would be sorting people out, right?
Yeah. So we would capture all of the slaves from the other empires that we had conquered, and when the slaves would come to me, I would, see if they were good to help our empire, but I was throwing them into the fire. I was like...
He actually, in this Subscara, he was having fun with it. Like he wasn't trying to save anyone. He was just trying to send almost everyone into the fire, right?
Yeah. I mean, I
and what ended up happening in that Subscara?
Well, what happened is that I would, I killed like thousands of people. I would throw them into a fire. And what ended up happening is that there was a slave who was like talking to me, and I got like upset at him, and I stood up and I went to him to like, you know, to beat him or something, and he got me and started fighting with me, took me like a hostage, and threw himself into the fire pit with me. Mm-hmm. So
and of course he was there as he was dead. And what did you think when you saw the person they had replace you?
Oh yeah, well when they replaced me with a new person,
and he was there as a being of light, looking at it.
The new person was actually
saving a lot of people.
Saving a lot of people instead of throwing them into a fire like I was, because I was throwing them into a fire. I was like, I didn't care. But that was, you see, that created a lot of dark energy, a lot of karma.
See, that's the karma that many lifetimes, he did this to tons of people, but you can understand that the karmic debt you have to pay. You don't have to pay someone else's, but you have to pay yours. Anything you've done is a pattern that you're going to pay it. And you're either going to pay it by suffering, which is what this dark energy is an energy of death. And it's an energy of destruction. And if you don't wash it away with light and love, what does it do but create death and destruction for you over and over and over and over and over and over?
I mean, I just kept having these lifetimes where I was being burned.
One after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. Yeah. And then finally we got to the core. Once he released that core, then the whole chain of lifetimes is gone. But you understand that just doing it on a lie detector isn't going to do it. You got to wash this thing with light and love. And you don't wash this thing with blame and shame and you know, hello. You don't wash this thing with blame and shame and with you know, blaming others or saying you did this to me, or write up everything that you've done that's bad. Do you understand that just sitting there and writing up everything that you've done that's bad actually puts you into the dark core? It's actually the path into the darkness. You know, there's methods out there that are supposedly there to enlighten you. But what they are is to put you into a control mechanism into their system and to totally turn you into a slave of their system. You know, and so looking at everything you've done wrong and writing it down is a path into the darkness. That is not a path into the light. Do you see? When you do bodies of light, you're bringing in light. You're raising your vibration. And so you just happen to remember these things that happened. No one blames you or shames you. It's actually the opposite.
It's in the past. It's
yeah,
done already.
But what you do is this, is you let go of the dark energy and then you forgive. You say, I forgive me, I forgive me, I forgive me, and I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, up to 100%. So there is no shame, there is no blame. Any shame, any system out there that has shame and blame, blames other groups, other people, or blames you, is a system of darkness, is a system of unconsciousness, is a system of creating a darker, more inhumane world. You understand that is not the path into the light. The path into the light is full of pleasure. It's full of love. It's full of bringing us all together. It's full of oneness. It's full of fun. It's full of festivals. You know, there used to be these pagan festivals where everyone would be hugging and kissing and drinking, and that they were spiritual festivals. Because back then they knew that everyone's holding and hugging and doing all that they actually were plugging into the light, plugging into higher consciousness. And then you had other organized religions which tried to convince people that all that erotic stuff was actually evil, which in actuality it wasn't. It was actually enlightened. So the darkness was actually telling people not to love. The darkness was in telling people not to hug or hold. If you look at the parts of the world that are the most uncivilized, it's the parts that vilify women, that demonize, actually the parts that are most unconscious demonize homosexuality. They demonize loving. They demonize eroticism in any case. When in actuality, that's enlightened. So you may have some people blame me on saying the truth here, but I'm just going to say what the dark core is. And the dark core is anything that is not love. anything that is not light, anything that is not forgiveness. And you understand that you're supposed to love everyone. You don't have to have them right next to you. You can love them from afar. But the second you don't love something is the second that it becomes dark. And that most importantly has to do with you. So you have to love everything about yourself. And this path into releasing your dark core is a path into loving and flowing light and love and forgiveness through every little lump of coal that could be anywhere within yourself. And these lumps of coal, these subscaras, these psychic scars, come out naturally doing bodies of light.
Yes.
But we want to bring up the fact that, and to challenge you to not just, to challenge you to do bodies of light, and if you want to get it, do this in 13 months, anywhere in the world, you could be in Paris, you could be in Ukraine, you could be in Australia, you could be anywhere in the world, and you can follow this path into the light and super speed it and not have it take 7 or 8 or 9 years, but to do it in 13 months. And in order to do that, raise your bodies of light up to 10 times a day, and once a week, do this. And get your pencil and paper out. It's do Subscara clearing on your own. Even if you don't know how to test yet, you can learn from those of us that know all the testing, and we'll probably have more stuff teaching the testing. But we want to teach you Subscara LITE, which is your ability to speed it up on your own where you are. And that process is do 10 bodies of light a day. And then once a week, you're going to say the words, I open up to the psychic scar. Say it.
I open up to the psychic scar.
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 I open up to that psychic scar.
I open up to the 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 psychic scar.
And you're going to do that. Listen, you're going to do it for an hour. So this mantra, you would say, I open up to the psychic scar for an hour as the first step. Okay? And what does that do?
And it basically just opens up the next scar that's ready to be uncovered with the light that you just pulled in with the bodies of light. So, I mean, if you have a lot of light coming up through you, and then basically the next Subscara is available, either it is this lifetime, or maybe it's 2 lifetimes ago, or 10 lifetimes ago, 100, 1,000, or 2,000, depends how far you are. And if you did more Subscara clearing like on your own by own meditation in the past lives, we all take into consideration because you move along from the point that you left. You don't have to start all over.
Yeah, this is what's so funny. You gotta hear this. Bodies of light is the only system in existence on Earth today that takes into account what you've already done. So you could have done one of these other systems and already spent 20 years, $400,000 or $500,000 working on releasing past life psychic scars. But unfortunately, it was a really slow method. I really respect that people tried to figure out a way to do it. But the thing is that we take into effect that you're 30 or 40 or 50 lifetimes in. And there is no other method that's been doing it with the lie detectors that has gotten over 100 lifetimes. What they tend to do is they do some of that, and then the person feels a little better, and then they decide to have you look at all your everything you did bad, which actually is the path into the darkness, and you don't bring in any light. They make you afraid of the light, and then they make you do someone else's Subscara. You don't get better by trying to put yourself through someone else's past lives. You understand that your past life is unique to you, and we have not found a track of lives that was the same amongst anyone.
It could be similar. I mean, we could be like in the same society, but not exact ones. I mean, you could.
And the Subscaras are all different.
Yes, like like let's say me or Yankee, in the past we'd probably see some of the similar Subscaras in a certain period of time, in a lapse of time, maybe somewhere else in the universe, we just happen to be in the same.
Yeah, and we saw some like you and some other people had like the Borg. It looks like the Borg, where they were these cyborg-looking things, And so we've seen similar civilizations, but you're never ever going to get better by trying to plug into someone else's dark core, someone else's psychic scars, which I find totally insane.
I think the biggest
some other systems do that.
I think the biggest downfall on this particular way, as you're saying, when like uncovering more, is unfortunately people who are not as wealthy, let's say, you know, they don't have enough of, maybe not having much of a treatment.
Oh yeah, a lot of these things are really all about the money, and so if you're not able to spend $300,000, $400,000, they don't even actually. It's either that or you're slave labor for the next billion years or
And
whatever.
what's
Right?
happening when the person has opened up like few subscars from a past life, then they have like this dark core stirring, and it's actually a lot of suffering, a lot of like a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And if you don't wash it away, it constantly starting to hurt this person.
Yeah, and it's a real control mechanism.
It is.
If you're not bringing in the light and love to wash it away, it becomes uncomfortable. And so with bodies of light, what we say is do bodies of light and any other light working technique. See, the light brings us together. So do bodies of light. It's like fuzzy logic. It's use it where you may, do it with anything else. People who are dark, people who say they're going to enlighten you, but are really on a much darker path, will tell you this.
Don't do anything else.
You can't do anything but this, and this is the only way to do it. Uh-oh. Watch out.
I would test on that point.
Yeah, check. We'll test right here. Those people who say you can only do this and nothing else, is that light? No. What percent dark is it? Negative 0.9, 10 to the 100. So,
100%.
so you understand the light brings us together. The light makes us love everyone. It doesn't blame everyone. And I'm going to tell you, the path into the light, the path into releasing your dark core, into doing Subscara LITE, has nothing to do with looking at how bad you are. You don't sit there and write down like all the bad things that you've done over millions of years. That's a way to actually plug into more darkness, and a way for a lot of these groups to manipulate you, and it's not fun. You know,
But at the same time, I mean, if you do 10 bodies of light a day, and you have your setup practice when you spend like hour opening up the psychic scar, then you letting go, then you forgive, and then you filling up again, and then some of those are you think are really fun for you, like a past life. Like I had quite a few that I wrote down that I was like doing a lot of magical stuff, and I did a lot of different elixirs for like long living.
Yeah.
And, these are fun to remember, like technologies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a whole past. Well, that's a whole nother video, past life technology, where we feel that as we have millions of people be able to open up to their past lives quickly and easily for $31. I mean, it's the idea that people all across the planet can follow the path into the light easily, and that this is not something where it's only for the elite or only for a select few celebrities. I mean, no,
It used to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is something where the whole planet is ready to make a great leap.
Empire, slave man.
Yeah, it's like that just doesn't work. It's very dark.
No, it's time to.
Yeah, so the first part, we're going to do Subscara clearing light once a week. Give yourself a time. You're going to do 1 hour of I open up to the psychic scar. Okay, the next hour, you're going to go outside. Now, you can't do this inside. You have to be out in nature, near a nice tree or something, and you're going to say, I let go of all that dark energy. So everyone say it.
I let go.
I let go of all that dark energy.
Dark energy.
I let go
I let go
of all that dark energy.
of all that dark energy. Would you make the emphasis on that specifically?
Yeah, I let go
I let go
of all that dark energy.
of all that dark energy.
I let go
I let go
of all that dark energy.
Of all that dark energy.
I let go
I let go
of all that dark energy.
All that dark energy.
So what you're doing is you're just letting it go. You're pulling in the light, and of course you'd want to do your 10 bodies of light before you do the process. And then you do the hour of I open up to the psychic scar, the hour of I let go of all that dark energy, and then the next hour, of course, would be forgiveness.
yourself and others. Most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, you gotta have visuals of what exactly you open up in your past life. You're gonna see who you were, what you've been doing, how exactly that happened, what exactly happened, how do you felt, and you really gotta dig into that. You really gotta dig into this lump of coal, as Dr. Lee said.
Yeah, and it's about forgiveness. You see, you understand, blame and shame is the wrong direction. Okay, that's the darkness. Every group out there that has hurt humanity has been blaming and shaming. The path into the light, the path into washing away your dark core is in forgiveness.
Yes.
And you'd sit there, you do an hour of, I forgive you, I forgive you, I would forgive you, do that for a few minutes, and then I forgive me. I forgive me. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everyone go, I forgive you.
I forgive you.
I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you.
I forgive you.
I forgive you.
I am forgiven.
I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. And then I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I forgive me. I forgive me. I forgive me. I forgive me. So then after you've done forgiveness for an hour, then we would say do bodies of light for an hour or do 10. So this is a 4-hour process you would do, and so you would be doing the bodies of light to fill back up. So this is like something where anyone can work on these on your own. Okay, so we want to make it to where the whole world has no reason not to walk the path into light easily and naturally, no matter how much money, no matter where you are.
No matter where you are.
No matter, because as a being of light, having this knowledge and having the capability for people to do this, and the fact that it's as easy and as simple as it is going to change everything. I can't tell you how good it's going to be. I mean, how good you're going to feel walking this path into the light.
You're going to feel great.
Every time as you keep digging deeper into these subscaras, and you can put your hand up, and you can know where you're at, and go, say I open up to the psychic scar.
I open up to the psychic scar.
That needs to be cleared next.
That needs to be cleared next.
For my best life.
For my best life.
And you check and see which one. How many is it? And you do the testing. Go, is it this lifetime? No. And go, how many? If it goes, is it this lifetime? If it's smooth, it means you have stuff that's going to be this lifetime. You could go, is it a month? Is it a year? Is it 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? You can test yourself. Or we're looking in past lives. So is it past life? Okay. How many? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, 10, 20, 30, 40. You're going to keep going deeper. There's this big celebrity that I know spent millions of dollars working on him for decades. And he's only like 35 lifetimes in. Millions of dollars. I think his initials were JT. And it's so sad. And a lot of these other methods don't work. If you're sitting on a lie detector, it doesn't work really unless you're really spending a lot of money raising your vibration with other methods. So you have to have massages 3 times a week and be going to chiropractors and acupuncturists and eating tons of stuff, because if you're not doing bodies of light, you're having just to feel relief from all this stuff that's getting uncovered. You're forever trying to take off the stress of uncovering these psychic scars without enough light. Now, of course, with bodies of light, it's the opposite, right? With bodies of light, these things just wash away, and you feel like what?
Really easy and light and healthy and happy all the time.
I'm more connected.
And more connected with everybody else around you.
More connected. Like sometimes after I release my dark core, I feel. Sometimes I feel this really amazing feeling. It feels. I can't even explain it.
And you gotta understand, there's no one releasing their dark core at this age with any other system other than bodies of light.
Yeah.
Do you understand that we can have lots of young people around the world become the most brilliant masters, remembering he's been an artist. You have known, we can't say who it is, but most of you who are well read about art, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, know what he's done in 4 lifetimes. Like, in other words, his stuff's worth millions of dollars in 4 different lifetimes. And for him to release his dark core and be able to open up all that vast knowledge in this lifetime and to be able to bring that through to mankind here and now. Do you see these ancient, brilliant artists coming through now, and these young people now, to be able to uncover in 13 months their memories, their consciousness of who they are, and to be able to bring that through to our planet is going to have untold repercussions to evolving everything and to create heaven on earth for all of us. What do you feel about that? You do high vibrational art, right?
Yes. I was in a lot of the past lives that I opened up. I was into engineering and art and building, and it's interesting because since I was a little kid, I was always like drawing buildings and drawing and it came natural to me. Nobody ever told me how to do things. Most of everything that I do artistically, I taught myself to do.
And what's so funny, he did it so many lifetimes. You even had lifetimes where he was a slave.
Oh yeah.
And there were these, what were the architects or whatever at the time, knew that him as a slave had this knowledge, even as a slave that had very little training. And even as a slave, he was doing all the drawings for the architect.
Yeah.
Remember? And
Yeah,
then until
and he was
finally
taking all
he
the
chopped
credit.
you tried to leave, he chopped your foot off.
Yeah.
And then eventually you died and you were happy because then the guy couldn't do his architectural drawings and you didn't have to do his architectural drawings anymore.
Yeah.
Remember?
He couldn't take advantage of me anymore. And what I was saying before is that I feel it's truly invaluable to release your dark core, because I can't explain the feeling. I feel connected, and I'm feeling this really euphoric feeling that feels amazing. I feel connected. I feel as if the people next to me are feeling it, but they're not.
You feel everything. See, when you release your dark core, you're an infinite being of light. And so it's like taking the red pill in the Matrix. You feel everything. Everything is more sensitive. You're not just a superhuman, you're a super being of light. And you have these abilities that are just phenomenal. And it's like, it's amazing how we all have these different abilities. And some people are different. You know, as you plug into the light, it's almost like the X-Men of light. There's different abilities come through. The key is, though, to just have people do it. So we want to encourage you to do Subscara Clearing Light. We want to encourage you to do 10 bodies of light a day, 1 day a week, to spend 4 hours, right?
Yes.
And to supercharge this process so it doesn't have to take 8 or 9 years, where you can do it in 13 months, into where you spend an hour every week saying, I open up to the psychic scar, and then an hour saying, I let go of all that dark energy outside, an hour saying, I forgive you, I forgive me, and then an hour filling up.
Like just in a row.
Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, what?
Just in a row. Like,
In a row.
Just like, this is really determined time for yourself, as because it's really like X-Men. Because the thing is, DNA and genes that actually evolve as when you plug into the light, and the light actually evolves everything to higher, better forms. And when I release my dark core, and I know Yankee notices as well, and other people who will release the dark core using the bodies of light technique, as within a few weeks after you release the dark core, by having so much light in your system, body starts to have this rewiring happen, like reconnected, recharging, and you can actually, and a lot of people I know, they have this like wild, crazy visions of them seeing DNA structures, the chains, and they rip off, they bring together, and they change. So it's really like an X-Men, because you're gaining your new abilities. You're getting more psychic,
Right.
you becoming more powerful,
Right.
you astral travel easier. I mean, it's really, really, really like a
And
X-Men.
it's an actuality. The thing is, though, is that you have a lot of people saying, because things get popular, you have a lot of people saying the same thing. Oh, we'll do DNA activation. Oh, hey, you can do 8 strand, I'll do 12. Oh, and then I'll do 22 strand. Oh, I bet I got 54 strand. Oh, I got 108 strand, you know. And so what's funny is that like it's like it's marketing. See, the West here is really great with marketing. And so this is why we want to get you in to understand that this path into light is particular for you to do things above a 10. And that's part of high vibration living and another thing. But when you're doing techniques, if they say, oh, we're here to do it for you, it's really glammy, glitzy, it's only $400,000, and you go, what's that for me? And it's a 0, that's weakening you. And many times it's not just a 0. You might go, how low is it? 1, 0, negative 1, 9, 10, 100, 1,000, 10, 100,000, negative million. It's kind of like what was becoming part of the Nazi party in Germany. Let's all test it. If you became part of the Nazi party in Germany during World War II, what number was that? They said it was enlightening, okay, but it's a negative Google 0. And then you say, how low is it? Do your tester, knows how to test. And you go 1, 0, negative 10, negative 100, negative 1,000, negative 100,000, negative 900,000, negative million. A negative million. So everyone says they're there to enlighten you. But you understand that if they're to enlighten you for real, it's going to be about oneness. It's going to be about loving everything, about taking responsibility, forgiving everything, not about blaming everyone else. This whole blame, saying they're the reason for the problem, is inherently dark. So you got to understand this. There's a lot of pitfalls we see where people are very well intentioned, and then these people have really big nets to take people on this who are trying to be on a path into enlightenment, and they actually go on a path into darkness unwillingly. But the way you know you're on a path into the darkness is that it's uncomfortable, it's painful, it's sad, it's sick.
It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good. And you got to learn to test, because we know ones out there that put you on the lie detector things, and it's like a negative million. You know, it's like, we know that people, it's very cool to see past lives, but the problem is that when you're doing all this other stuff that isn't working, and you're building them up without washing them away, and also going bankrupt doing it, that usually is not very enlightening. You know, you're an infinite being of light that can actually be on this path for $31, can get the Buys the Light book, can do Subscara Clearing Light, and could in 13 months release your entire dark core and be a super being of light, and remembering amazing past lives and having amazing abilities. Now, we do, what?
Well, since you guys behind the screen there are asking, okay, so where's the catch? I'm gonna tell you what's the catch. And the catch is, in this thing, it's the same process. You just do the same thing for every single Subscara in the past. There is no like change in upgrading your level, and
there's no levels. There no
or something. It's
you
just
know,
like, take this and use it here. Copy paste.
Yeah.
Copy
That's
paste,
the whole
copy,
thing.
Paste, and move along with it until you're done.
Yeah,
that's how I've done it. That's how Yankee did it. I mean,
it's not. That's the whole thing. You always. A lot of times you have people say, you know, they in marketing of the West, they always love to have levels of, you have to go here to go there, just so they can charge more.
Yeah, like
but
50,000 got to get you here.
Yeah, and they get there. But it's not real.
Yeah,
it's all just marketing. And Bodies of Light is a process that the same thing you use at the beginning, who just wash away stuff for this lifetime and make you feel better, is the same thing that gets you at 4,400 lifetimes. It's the same Bodies of Light process. And the Subscara process, which you learn, you can do Subscara Lite and get yourself through, or you can come to the League of Lightworkers and actually learn to do the numbering. And all we're doing is testing each piece that we told you to do for an hour, and just said, just test each piece to know when you're finished. And also, when you have someone one-on-one helping you, then they're just, you know, whether they're a consultant or a trainer or a life coach, they're just charging you what their hourly rate is to hold your hand and take you through it. But, you know, and some people like to have their hand held, but ultimately we want you to be able to do this on your own. We're not holding anything back.
You can
we want, and we want to get the karma for literally waking up the entire planet and for igniting tens of millions of people into the light, on the path into the light, making it easy. You know, you get the book, and then $31 you can, you know, release your dark core doing Subscara Lite.
And, you know, and the beauty about that, because like my family is back in Ukraine, and I know my mom, she has like specific religion to it, and then of course I translated it and I gave her a specific edition of God, which just like sounds a little different in Ukrainian, but a specific one. And I have other friends that are willing to do that, and they don't like using the word God.
They like Buddha
universe or
Buddha. Universe.
Yeah, so it's all, and you know, and I have friends somewhere else, and they like to use like a Krishna, or they like to use Allah. And the thing is, it's all the same, and it's all the same process, and it gets you to the same point.
It's the same process that gets you to the same point. It also, people who try the different processes also become much more compassionate. And I would say that as people remember their past lives, they stop blaming each other. Yeah. You know, we see the Middle East, we see us having a big We Are One World campaign, and filling a stadium and having half Israeli, half Palestinian, and having these young kids remember their past lives, and then remember the Israelis remember being Palestinian remember being Jewish. And so it's like, it's interesting to, that after you've remembered a number of past lives, 3, 4, 5, you usually are not blaming other people at
And
that
you have
point.
the problem. Like I know, like me, Lee, Yankee, and many others would do God edition, would do Jesus edition, would do Universal edition, we could do Goddess edition,
Do Buddha,
And it's-
whatever.
Buddha, it's all the same. It still gets you to the same point. It still gets you to the same level. It's the thing at the beginning, I guess. It's a matter of you
Feeling comfortable.
feeling comfortable. But as long as people move along, they understand that it's all the same path. We all walk in the same path, no matter how we call it, no matter what kind of use it,
Yeah.
words and what kind of language we use. It's all the same.
Yeah, and it's a path into light and love and forgiveness. It's a path into oneness. It's not a path into blame or shame, right? It's a path into loving everything.
Loving yourself. Loving
It's
everybody
loving
else,
yourself,
loving
forgiving yourself, forgiving others. It's a very simple path into
Really
the light.
simple. It's
and
super simple.
it's just about making it easy for people to follow it. And Bodies of Light does that, right?
Yes, 100%.
So, any last thoughts on
the
what you
I'm
feel?
flashing on the whole process itself. I think that especially at the first ones, the first subscars, when people do, a lot of them, I mean, some people have from this lifetime, some people don't have from this lifetime. And I know when people do this first subscar, all of a sudden they see one specific vision from the past that actually they've been someone else, but somehow when they do forgiveness, they have familiar faces coming out, family faces, friends, family.
You forgive everything.
You have to forgive everyone. And just imagine.
You got to forgive this lifetime and other life, everything.
Honestly, forgive them and forgive yourself for anything and everything related or not related, because you will feel relief, and you actually will feel it. It's not like you do just for a specific hour and you're done. You feel the relief.
And you say the words, "I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive me." It's the vibration of saying the words. Yeah.
Definitely. And the thing is, it's so simple and so easy. And the thing is, like, if you like to do this different meditation, and somebody tells you, do this specific meditation, you gotta charge up your Kundalini or charge up or some other chakras.
We say do Bodies of Light and do that. Do both.
Do
like
both.
do Bodies of Light and anything else, because we're inclusive. So as light workers, we're like, do this and anything else that you like. But we do know that once you learn how to test, if you test, this person says they're going to enlighten you, and you go negative Google 0, 1, and they're a 1, that's 90% dark. We saw another guru who was all about enlightenment, had this foundation. He was a negative million. That's a path into the darkness, just as much as Hitler is. You got to learn to test these things. And when you're going the right way, when you feel good, when you feel tingly and poofy and happy, if you're feeling controlled and they're saying you can't eat garlic and you can't have cayenne pepper and
you cannot have sex.
Can't have sex. I mean, what? That is path into the darkness.
No, actually you can, but only with me.
Yeah, that's what the guru says. It's like, see, these things you gotta think for yourself. You gotta test things for yourself. Is this right for me? If it's above a 10, it is. But if it's below a 10, it's a path into the darkness. We want you to really be able to feel these things for yourself.
And definitely, and we're here to help you, we're here to connect with you, no matter where you are, no matter what language you speak, no matter what you believe, no matter what you practice, it's helping you.
Yeah, if you're Spanish, you have Vitali Okri, you have Ukrainian and Russian, you have Portuguese, Spanish, we have Yankee Mompeller.
We have a Hebrew edition, we have possibly going to have a Polish edition, hopefully sometime soon we're going to have edition in Arabic or in different dialects, so more people can follow that.
But we do need help.
Chinese and Japanese, whatever it is. I mean, if you're connected, if you think you have a will, you have a power, and you really want to help yourself and help the others, connect with us. And we
also
want you to connect with others, because we all got to help each other.
And also, every major spiritual movement had people put money towards it. I mean, from in Spain, even the Catholic Church, they had money towards it. If you find out this works, if you do the Subscara LITE, you do Bodies of Light, and you realize that this is the most powerful thing I've ever seen ever,
and you want to bring it to others,
and you know that it's important, really pay attention. We need you to help invest in what we're doing, to donate money to get this out to others, to help us with the film, with the We Are One World concerts, with the Bodies of Light TV show that we're working on. We need help in many areas that you can volunteer to help with promotions or internet or website or many, no matter where you are around the world, we would accept your help.
Part.
Yeah.
It's like
We're doing our part.
It's like building, you know, like making a picture of those little puzzles. I mean, it's the whole picture will not come out with it if you're missing a single puzzle. Everything should be in the right place. So we all do our part. We do our part.
Yeah. You have to do your part. So if you feel something inside of yourself saying, you know, what they're saying is really spot on,
And
it's
the
going to
thing
change
is,
the world. Yeah.
Test. What is it for me to help this person?
Yeah, to
What
help
is it
buy.
for me to
Yeah,
do
what
this?
is it for me to help buy a light and test? Negative Google 0, 1 to the 9, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, billion, trillion, septillion. You'll probably get as high as you are. But the thing is this: is that it's a high number.
Everything that you do that helps others and helps yourself and those the one you love and your community, your society, it all adds up to your karma. I mean,
Yeah.
it all adds up. If you do the right thing, if you're helping the right people, of course. I mean,
You'll feel it.
Yes.
You always want to
all
do
the
stuff
time.
that's above a 10.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just test it. Just feel it. You know, your inner gut feeling, you have it all the time. This is your amplifier. This is your discernment. This is your.
This is you listening to the Messiah.
This is you listening to your Messiah. This
Yeah.
is you listening to you, basically.
Yeah.
So just follow.
Following your inner light.
Yes, and you will feel great. And we hopefully gonna hear from you soon. We're really looking forward to get in touch with you finally and get to know you and you know, connect to the world. As this is the right time, and you know they say this is the year of the light, and these are the years of the light and the years of enlightenment.
Yes.
So we are following the path, and the question is, are you willing to follow the path?
And we're here
to walk with us.
Yes.
Are you willing to make it happen, or are you willing to just let it go?
And it's okay either way, because
okay either way.
you're a limitless being of light. See, this is not a hard sell. You've been around for thousands of lifetimes and millions of years. So if you don't want your best life 24/7, you can wait.
Maybe 10 lifetimes up.
It's fine. It's like there is no hard sell in this. This is just, you're ready when you're ready. And people are ready when they're ready. There's no hard sell.
But just know, the only time that you have is now.
But now is the time to do it.
Yes.
For those who are ready, now is the time to do it, right?
Yes.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Great.
And as always, it's a great pleasure to help you as we love it and we feel tingly by helping you because we know you are the one who's going to bring into light to this world. And just stay tuned. And hopefully we're going to see you soon. I'm really hoping for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
Well, yes. When you plug into the light, you feel more connected, and you are able to also feel how you feel healthier. You feel more. I mean, I can't. It's invaluable. I couldn't even explain it, but it feels good. And
he always says this, it feels good to feel good, right?
Well, yeah, it feels good to feel good. You're plugging into yourself. You're plugging into your own connection, and that's valuable. Nobody else can do that for you. You know, you're here to do your part. You don't have to do anybody else's part. You're not responsible for anybody else's, but yourself. And that's making that choice to love yourself and to raise your energy, raise your light. You will feel it. Do bodies of light. Look at the other video, the introduction video for Bodies of Light.
At bodiesoflight.net.
Bodiesoflight.net. And do Bodies of Light, learn more about it. And raise your light and see what's going to happen. I mean, we challenge you to do Bodies of Light for at least 30 days. And
now this video, we want you to do it 10 times a day.
Yes.
And then to do it in 13 months, which is release your whole dark core. We want you to do it 10 times a day, and then we want you to spend 4 hours once a week.
Yes.
So that's the thing that this is the Subscara LITE, releasing your dark core in a fast way on your own, which before you had to come to classes and stuff. We want to make it easy so anyone around the world could do it. So we want to encourage you to do the program, 10 bodies of light a day, 4 hours once a week, and then just get it done. You know, release your dark core in 13 months and get your super light beings. It's quicker, it's quick. And the whole process, the path in light's full of pleasure. The whole process feels amazing, right? And you're gonna feel like you're in cloud 9 and you're gonna be successful. And relatively speaking, in comparison to what other systems out there do, where it's like, there's a lot of stuff. You still spend 6 hours a day for decades and nothing really happens at all very fast. You know, this is quick and you get to do it with your regular life. Just plug it into everything else you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Come over and enjoy.
And Thank you so
help the
much.
world.
Yes.
Let's help
Yes.
the world.
Great.
Thank you.
Ciao.